Assalamu alaikum, and today we are going to take off with lecture number 31, and fortunately or unfortunately this is our second last lecture, and today it's another important topic. And as I said, that I have kept some important issues which are relevant to Pakistan for the last bits. The same protocol. Let me just give you the recap of lecture number 30, and which was about the agriculture in Pakistan, and there were some brutal realities that what the sector is going through. Not an impressive growth, but who is to be blamed? Either the government or the people, and I think both are to be blamed, because sometimes people take the advantages of the policies that is being made by the government, and sometimes government formulate policies in such a way that doesn't bring equity, rather than it creates an uneven balance of power, uneven distribution of resources. That's what we have talked about in our last lecture, when we said that agriculture still a big question. Is it still a backbone when it is still contributing only 21%, and it used to be 53? I remember in my times when I was studying this agriculture economics, it contributed around 42%, and now in 2014 it's just 21%. So it's reducing. Is the new policy, or are the upcoming policies doing anything to save this sector, or we are again just becoming the victim? That okay, in policies we are saying that okay, the agriculture sector will do this, and unfortunately in reality it may become much more worse or deteriorate. So with reference to policy, with reference to people, with reference to government, it becomes a bigger question, and we keep on seeking answers that okay, what kind of policy has to be formed in order to create incentives. That's what I feel, that okay, we lack incentives, because if there is an incentive in agriculture, let's go for it. Create incentives so that people from the urban areas come towards rural areas to invest in agriculture. People start thinking that okay, let's move into the fishery business. People start going for poultry business. So number of huge opportunities need to be created, in which agriculture sector not only just stays on 21, and it can again go till 50 and even more than that, because we need to strengthen the value chain. We need to have some good partners. Why can't the poultry industry link themselves with the industry, with the manufacturing industry, in terms of giving them the products? Why do we have to import it? So let's have some import substitution in terms of these agricultural goods and promote this agriculture sector in Pakistan. So that was something about what we did in terms of the agriculture sector. Today we are going to talk about the water. कहते हैं ना, water is life. How it is life, and what is the state of Pakistan in terms of water. Again, it is one of the important natural resource. जहाँ पे हम कहते हैं कि जी energy is the engine for growth, agriculture is the backbone, and I see कि water is basically the lifeline of any economy. Earlier हम carbon footprints की बात करते थे. Now you would see that we have these water footprints, and there is an institute in Netherlands which has actually determined the mechanism or defined the methodology of finding out the water footprints कि जी अगर एक product को बनाने में उसमें कितना water use हुआ है, because they say that the emerging trend would be, in order to see that how the country is performing, it will be by the quantity of water it has. ठीक है ना? So water की क्या quality है, water की क्या quantity हमारे पास है, that is to be determined. पाकिस्तान की situation में कैसी है? We will see it in today's lecture, that how water has to be treated. Now, water resource management is the integrating concept in terms of a number of water subsectors. और water subsectors कौन से हैं? आपका hydropower है, आपकी water supply and sanitation है, irrigation and drainage है, और आपकी environment है. So जब हम कहते हैं an integrated water resource perspective ensures, क्या कहता है? Social, economic, environmental and technical dimensions are taken into account into the management and development of water resources. This is basically the integrated approach जब हम सारी चीज़ों को holistically देख रहे होते हैं. पाकिस्तान का अगर हम overview देखें, Pakistan is one of the world's most arid country with an average rainfall hour of under 240 mm a year. The population and the economy are heavily dependent on the annual influx into the Indus River system, including Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj rivers, of about 180 billion cubic meters of water that emanates from the neighboring countries and mostly derived from the snow melt in Himalayas. So that has been our water inputs. The balance between population and available water already makes Pakistan one of the most water stressed countries, because the demand is more and the supply is less. With the rapid population growth, it will soon enter a condition of absolute water scarcity. My apologies that I started the lecture with such a gloomy picture of water, but that is the reality. It's not just energy, it's not just agriculture. Even in terms of water, we are not that well prepared. We are a water scarce nation. Now, if you look at the declining per capita availability of water in Pakistan, the graph is from 1981 se jata hai, and it goes till 2060. This is 2035, 2025, 2010, 2003, 1980. And this is cubic meters per capita per year. यहाँ पे आप देखें water का जो level है, ये क्या होता जा रहा है, आपका कम हो रहा है. जब आप इस red yellow वाली line पे हैं, this is a water stress situation. ठीक है, आप हमने 1998 के बाद we have moved into the water stress situation. हमने उसको भी cross कर लिया. And from 2003 से लेके अगर आप यहाँ पे आ जाएं, in the upcoming years, right now we are somewhat here, इस point पे हैं, ठीक है, इस point पे. And after, in the coming years, now we are moving towards water scarcity situation. और अगर ये situation रही, so it is showing a decreasing trend. So we have moved from water stress, we have crossed that threshold, and now we have moved into a water scarcity situation. Not a very pleasant situation, and again, many countries would argue, many countries के World Bank की एक report आई थी, assessment report, and it said it is not the scarcity issue, it's basically the allocation and the management issues in Pakistan, that the water is in such a way because people don't know how to manage the resources. That was their findings. Pakistan के जो water resources हैं वो क्या हैं? That is rainfall, glacier and groundwater. अब अगर हम रेनफॉल की बात करें तो पाकिस्तान लाइज इन द एरिड एंड सेमी एरिड क्लाइमेट जोन. सोर्सेज ऑफ रेनफॉल हमारी क्या है? दैट इज मॉनसून एंड वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंसेस. हमारी जो मीन एनुअल रेनफॉल है जो अपना लोअर इंडस प्लेन पे है, दैट इज लेस देन 100 mm, और जो अपर इंडस प्लेन है दैट इज ग्रेटर देन 750 mm. एवरेज सीजनल जो रेनफॉल है एक खरीफ में और एक रबी में. खरीफ में हमारी होती है 212 mm और रबी में है it's 53 mm. After that, the second sources are glacier. Catchment area of Indus Basin contains some of the largest glacier in the world outside the polar region. Glacier area of Upper Indus catchment is about 2,250 kilometers square and accounts about 80% of the summer runoff in river. 80%. Kabul River originates from southern Hindu Kush and starts rising approximately a month earlier than Indus and fulfill the irrigation requirement of late Rabi and early Kharif crops. That is from the Kabul River. And snow melt accounts for more than 50% of the flow in Jhelum River. 50% ज़्यादा आपका Jhelum River में snow melt आपका आ रहा होता है. Surface water account है. These are like average volume water from the rainfall and snow melt. It is approximately 154 million acre feet. Then from western rivers it is 144 MAF. Then from eastern rivers it's 9.14 MAF. Eastern से आपको कम आता है, ज़्यादा आपको western से आता है. Then diversion of irrigation 104 MAF. Flow to sea is 39.4. C के spellings in the slide, my apology, that's wrong. And system losses is 9.90 MAF. पाकिस्तान की जो डेवलपमेंट हुई एग्रीकल्चर इरिगेशन सिस्टम की वो क्या थी? There are then three phases. One is the colonial. जब under the colonial rule that comes from 1850 से 1947, तो जो average जो आपका annual withdrawal था that was around 67 MAF. Independence के बाद से 1947 से 1960 तक देखें तो that was 85 increase हुआ. और जब Indus water treaty हुई, that was again a very important treaty in the water management history, and that was 108 से 105 तक गया. अब आ जाती है that what is our Indus water treaty in 1960 और उसके basic salient features क्या थे. All the waters of eastern rivers, namely Ravi, Beas and Satluj, they are allocated to India. All waters of western rivers, namely Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, allocated to Pakistan, except some specific uses in occupied Kashmir. Then Pakistan, to meet the requirements to its eastern river canals from the western rivers by constructing suitable replacement works. Safeguards incorporated in the treaty to ensure unrestricted flow of waters in the western rivers. Western rivers में unrestricted flow है. Either party constructing a work affecting the other party to inform the other party at least 6 months in advance and supply necessary details to enable the other party to satisfy itself that the proposed work does not adversely affect the other party. That is part of the treaty. Permanent Indus Commission constituted to watch implementation of the treaty and to resolve the negotiations any problem arising thereof. Procedure for settlement of differences and disputes outlined. अब हमारी जो इंडस बेसिन के जो projects हैं, they are something like that कि हमारे दो dams हैं, Tirbela, that is on the Indus River, and Mangla, that is on River Jhelum. The barrages that has been formed so far, Chashma barrage, ये आपका Indus के ऊपर है, New Rasool barrage, that is on Jhelum, New Marala barrage, that is on River Chenab, Kadrabad barrage, that is on Chenab, New Sidnai barrage, that is on Ravi, and Melisi siphon, that is on River Satluj. जो हमारी canals and link canals आ जाती हैं, that is Chashma, Jhelum link, then Tonsa, Panjnad, then Rasool Kadrabad, Kadrabad Baloki, Baloki Suleiman Ki, Tarimu Sidnai, and Sidnai and Milsi Bhawal. The old barrages that have been remodeled is Tarimu and Baloki barrage. Well, the names are pretty, I won't say weird, and the names are pretty interesting, but as a student or a person who is going to develop a water policy, we need to know कि कितने किस्म के infrastructures हैं. You don't have to remember them, but at least हमें इनके knowledge होने चाहिए कि ये आपकी new link canal, barrages, आपके dams ये कहाँ पे हैं, because these were the things that we studied somewhere in geography way back when we were in the school times. But as we are saying that we are becoming academically strong, we are becoming more and more educated, we are forgetting these things. The more we, वो कहते हैं ना, a specialist is a person who doesn't know anything about other subjects. But if you look at Aristotle, Confucius, Socrates, these were the people who are mathematicians, who are philosophers, who are sociologists, who know everything. I'm not saying that we need to become that, but the point was that it doesn't make the lecture boring. It is at least an added information, and we need to keep on updating ourselves with every kind of information. It's not that, okay, Gaji, I am just an MPA student, why I am studying all this biology or this hydro water projects. That's just knowledge. We need to remember them. We need to, because it may help in any of the discussions. I always tell my students that if you want to be a person who is socially accepted, now again you would say, okay, what do you mean by socially accepted? You will meet diverse kind of people throughout your life, and those people, uski probability ye hai that those people may not have the same interests the way you have. For example, if you are traveling if you're traveling by bus, you are sitting with a lawyer, so his area is law and your area is public administration, where the two merge. But if you had read law a little bit, if you have taken some interest, so you can always tap his weakness. You can always ask interesting questions about law. If you're sitting with a sportsman and he's in cricket or football, then you need to know about football or cricket. So knowledge has no boundaries. So वो कहते हैं ना कि जी, जब मैं कहता हूँ socially accepted, it's basically that everyone is comfortable in your company. And there was a definition of a gentleman, and they said, who is a gentleman? It's not कि जी हम कहते हैं काकूल से जब graduate कर दें, then you're a gentleman. It's basically a person with whom everyone is comfortable. He is a gentleman. So we have to behave like one. We need to learn things which are not even related to us, because that is knowledge, and you never know that you might need to apply it somewhere. Well, this thought just came when I was reading these names, and I thought that maybe you would say, why he is reading these names when we are not even interested in it? But as I said, when I was also preparing these slides, I also thought, okay, why to put them? But we need to know these things because they might help when we are developing anything or when we are talking about the water policy or anything like that. Okay. After the Indus Treaty, then we talk about Water Accord 1991. What the Water Accord was? Okay, afterwards, when I finish the Water Accord, then I'll bring out that thought with you people. Existing users of provinces remain untouched and protected. NWFP and Balochistan projects which are under execution are provided their authorized quota of water as existing users. Need for additional storages on the Indus and other rivers admitted and recognized for planned future agricultural development. Need for minimum escapages to sea below Kotri to check sea intrusion recognized. Further studies desired to establish minimum escapage needs below Kotri. No restrictions on Balochistan to develop water resources of Indus tributaries flowing through its area. Need for establishing Indus River Authority for implementation of the accord recognized and accepted. ISRA to have headquartered in Lahore and to have representation from all the 4 provinces. This was in 1991, which was quite important. Sharing procedure, it is laid in the paragraph 14 of the accord. Provinces are free to undertake new projects within their agreed shares. And within their allocations, provinces may modify uses both system-wise and period-wise. IRSA, it's a very important body. It comprises of 5 members, 1 from each province and 1 from the federal government. First, chairman, member Balochistan, followed by KPK, Punjab, Sindh and federal. अब term of the office क्या है? Chairman की आपकी क्या होती है? 1 year है और आपके member की क्या है? 3 years है. Decision making जिस तरह के अंदर किस तरह होती हैं? Decisions are done by majority of votes. In case of equality of votes, chairman exercises the casting vote. And aggrieved party to approach Council of Common Interest for redressal. Now, If you look at the Indus Treaty, it was between Pakistan and India, and the conflict was over water, that being a natural resource. If you look at water accord, again now this is between provinces, Punjab, Sindh, KPK and Balochistan. Fight किस पे हुई Pakistan और India पे? The major issue has been water, a natural resource. और एक theory ये भी है that communities or civilizations have always been fighting over natural resources, and even civilizations आपकी completely vanish हो गई because of these natural resources. Do read about Maya civilization, ठीक है, किस तरीके से इसकी elimination हुई, ठीक है. There is a book by Jared Diamond, and he talks about that how these civilizations came into being and how these civilizations were eliminated. And one of the major factors has been this natural resources. So the point is कि पहले Pakistan and India has been fighting, issue was water. Now provinces की आपस में लड़ाई होने लग पड़ी and the issue has been water. ठीक है. It has been quite critical that how to formulate such a policy जहाँ पे आप conflict को क्या करें, minimize करें. Till today, Punjab says that we are the granary makers, even though 21% आपका total agriculture के अंदर share हो रहा है और agriculture sector is compressing, but वो कहते जी we need water because we are the farmers and हमें ज़्यादा. Sindh कहता जी we have mangroves, we are the trading hub, we need more water. So that's why ISRA has been formed. And आपकी जो issues होते हैं वो ISRA में ही आपके settle down होता है कि पंजाब को कितना water चाहिए, बलूचिस्तान को कितना चाहिए, KP को कितना चाहिए और पंजाब को कितना चाहिए. What do they do is that ISRA prepares the forecast of water availability for Kharif and Rabi crops. Based on the water availability forecast, ISRA determines provincial shares according to water accord provisions. Already जो हमारे पास provisions हैं. Punjab क्या करता है? Punjab prepares canal operation distribution program based on its share in consultation with Punjab Agriculture Department. कितना agriculture sector और कितना चाहिए. If Punjab share is short of requirements, अगर पंजाब को पानी कम मिलता है even though requirements ज़्यादा है, rotational program of operation of channel is prepared and implemented by the field formations. तो तब हम rotational program चला लेते हैं. फिर एक और आई पाकिस्तान वाटर स्ट्रैटेजी एंड वाबडा's विजन 2025. The Pakistan water strategy and WABDA's vision 2025 have reviewed likely future demands and implied requirements for storage. If no storage is built, अगर हमारी storage नहीं built होती, canal diversions will remain stagnant at about 104 MAF, and the shortfall will increase about 12% over the next decade. Water scarcity situation. The Pakistan water strategy calculates that Pakistan needs to raise storage capacity by 18 MAF. 6 MAF for replacement of storage lost due to siltation and 12 MAF of new storage. हमें create करनी है by 2025 in order to meet the projected requirements. हमारी हैं 134 MAF. एग्रीकल्चर बैकबोन ऑफ इकोनॉमी, ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं, लेकिन जस्ट फॉर द रीकैप, एग्रीकल्चर इज द मेन प्लेयर इन द इकोनॉमी ऑफ पाकिस्तान विद 21% कंट्रीब्यूशन टू जीडीपी एंड मोर देन 45% ऑफ द लेबर फोर्स. 45% आपकी लेबर एग्रीकल्चर में इन्वॉल्व है. पाकिस्तान एग्रीकल्चर चल ही उस पर कर सकता है जब उसका मेजर इनपुट आपका क्या है, योर वाटर. If there is a proper irrigation, yes, your agriculture would prosper. But if there is no irrigation आपकी कम है, then the situation is going to be pretty worse. Pakistan has the world's largest contagious irrigation system. Yes, we have the largest, but not effective. Pakistan ranks 4th in the world as of irrigated area. About 7% is concerned. About 36 MA, about 75% in Pakistan is irrigated land. Pakistan has invested heavily in irrigation sector, allocated about $8 billion in this sector up to 2011-2012. Yes, we have invested, but Kalabagh Dam remains the same question. इरिगेशन जो मैंने कहा था लाइफ लाइन, यहाँ पे ये कहते हैं इट्स लाइफ ब्लड ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. नाउ over here the beautiful colors and you can see the consumption pattern of water. Agriculture is taking 69%. ठीक है, ये है आपका agriculture. Then your industry is taking 23%. This one ये आपको नहीं नजर आएगा. And your domestic usage taking 8%. So सबसे ज़्यादा आपकी जो consumption है water की that is being done by the agriculture sector. हमने water resources कर लिए थे, लेकिन इसके अंदर rainfall का we have already covered. Groundwater exploitation of groundwater is 59 BCM over 900,000. There are 900,000 tube wells and 40% of the supply at farm gate. Surface water में these are the statistics. There's total inflow is 171. then तरबेला की है आपकी 10.38, मंगला की 5.90, जो canals हैं उसके ऊपर 19 barrages हैं, and there are 170,000 water courses. अब let's talk about the existing situation. Not a very pleasant picture, but pure water is becoming scarce every year passing. Per capita availability of fresh water in Pakistan has decreased about 800% since 1950s. 800%. Then efficient and judicious use of irrigation water is the only sustainable option left with us. Management of water, as World Bank has already talked about. Then surface water is still the largest source of irrigation in Pakistan. 31% as a single source. Irrigation system is overburdened and losing its efficiency. Why? Due to increasing gap between actual and required O&M expenses. Actual O&M expenses made only about 20 to 30% of the required expenses. Government has to subsidize the major portion of O&M expenditures, 70% according to an estimate. Fresh water availability scenario अगर आपका देखें तो क्या है per person global 1950s में, उसके बाद 2000 में कम हो गया और आपकी रिडक्शन कितनी हुई है 60% in the last 50 years. पाकिस्तान में globally 60% कम हुई है, पाकिस्तान में 77% हुई है in the last 50 years. Like 1950s में आपकी जो availability थी that was 5300 cubic meters per annum. 2000 में कितनी होगी 1200 cubic meters per minute. So critical limit 1000 cubic meters per person per annum. Again, हम future water scenarios को देखें and we talk about from 1951 population and water availability. So 1951 के अंदर there were 34 million people and that was around 5300 per capita M3. और 2025 के अंदर देखें, if you look at it, it's quite scary picture कि आपकी population आपकी चली जाती 209 और आपके water की availability है 850. कहाँ पे आपकी ये थी 550 और यहाँ से देखें कितना आपका drastic decline है. And your population is growing from 34 to 209 million. So it's not. Now water stressed countries अगर आप देखें, ये वाला जो आपका रीजन है, ठीक है, ये है. But this part, I hope you can see it. This is Pakistan, and it is coming into the water scarcity region, one of the most water stressed country. अभी मैंने water scarce नहीं कहा, हाँ water stress को तो हम क्रॉस कर गए, ठीक है. So that picture is not very pleasant. Rising water demand, लेकिन हमने water supply पे कोई ऐसा काम नहीं किया, सिर्फ दो ही डैम, तरबेला and मंगला. कालाबाग still remains a dream. And what is that? अभी हम draw क्या करते हैं? We draw it from 1947 से हम जाते हैं 2060 तक, ठीक है. ये आपकी red में क्या है? आपकी ये population growth आ रही है. And that is increasing. और यहाँ पे हम 2060 पे जाके हम कहते हैं जी this is going to 3. Over here, this is your water कनाल वाटर डाइवर्जन वर्सेस पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ। यहाँ पे आपकी वाटर की बिफोर द ट्रीटी, ठीक है, फिर आफ्टर ट्रीटी इन ये हुआ, उसके बाद यहाँ पे आपका मंगला बन जाता है, यहाँ पे आपका तरबेला बन जाता है। यहाँ से अगर आप देखें तो देयर इज अ वेरी शार्प इंक्रीज। उसके बाद अब आपकी ये देखें ये क्या हो रहा है, it's just decreasing, or you can say it's just stagnant. Per capita availability of water आपकी क्या होती जा रही है, that is declining. यहाँ पे और ये it is estimated कि यहाँ पे जाके it is going to be totally falling, and it's going to be 616 M3. Now, given the situation, how do you see कि जी आपकी इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ का अगर मैं आपको फिगर्स दूं, इफ आई स्टार्ट टॉकिंग कि जी जीडीपी ज़बरदस्त हो जाएगा, एनर्जी सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी आ जाएगी, गिवन दीज फिगर्स आई थिंक दे आर क्वाइट कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग विद ईच अदर. वी हैव डन quite rigorous analysis when we studied energy, we have done when we have studied agriculture, and now when we're talking about water. And remember when हम बात करते थे कि जी simultaneously आपकी जो इशू ऑफ साइमल्टेनिटी है कि भी वाटर को आप आइसोलेशन में नहीं ले सकते. वाटर इज रिलेटेड विद एग्रीकल्चर, वाटर इज रिलेटेड विद योर एनर्जी. आप डैम्स अगर नहीं बनाते हैं, वाटर है नहीं तो डैम्स बनाते जाएंगे, हाउ योर एनर्जी इज गोइंग टू कम. सो देयरफॉर they are all coordinated with each other. Why I'm trying to portray it, that when we formulate a policy, remember कि आप सिर्फ एक एरिया को नहीं ले सकते कि जी आपने सिर्फ वाटर को देखना है, आपने उसके कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग या कोऑर्डिनेटिंग सेक्टर्स को भी आपने देखना होता है, that how they are going to be affected or how they are going to be have a positive or a negative impact on it. But you can't overburden it, because policy is a document that actually gives you जिसे कहते हैं एक रोड मैप आपको बताता है. जो नेशनल क्लाइमेट चेंज पॉलिसी की जब हम बात करते हैं उन्होंने हर चीज उसके अंदर डाल दी है, which is again seems to be unattainable. As in the policy development, remember कि एक पॉलिसी को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए. There has to be commonalities कि जब हम डिफरेंट पॉलिसीज को देखें, दे शुड रीइंफोर्स ईच अदर. इट शुड नॉट बी मेड इन आइसोलेशन. सो अगर वाटर की ये सिचुएशन है, इसका मतलब है देयर आर मोर थिंग्स दैट वी आर लुकिंग इनटू एंड हाउ दोज थिंग्स आर टू बी इनकोऑपरेटेड इन द पॉलिसी मेकिंग. सो वाटर स्केर्सिटी या वाटर ये जो है स्ट्रेस की सिचुएशन से अगर हम निकलते हैं तो एनर्जी पे भी इम्पैक्ट होएगा और आपके एग्रीकल्चर पे भी इम्पैक्ट होगा. How to model it? We just talked about a little bit of RED की मैंने आपको बात बताई, PES की आपको बात बताई थी, payment for ecosystem services. So there are models. एक हम टेक्निक करते हैं इनपुट आउटपुट एनालिसिस. तो हम पूरी इकोनॉमी को मॉडल कर लेते हैं और उसमें हम रिसोर्सेज में कर सकते हैं. At PIDE, Pakistan Institute of Development Economics, over there some of the economists are working on this input-output model. So we have to model the whole economy when we are developing the policies. And as students of public administration, when you are in this process, do model the whole economy and then see कि जी आपकी इस policy fixes से situation बाकी sectors पे कैसे आती है. If you are just going to make the policy in isolation, it is not going to help you out. It is further going to worsen the situation. Or if you're just going to incorporate every sector into it, that is going to further complex the situation. It's not going to ease it, and it will be just a hodgepodge situation. So therefore, be very clear what you have to do, but do it in such a way that it actually complements other sectors. ठीक है ना? इन दोनों में आपके अंदर difference नहीं होना चाहिए, उन दोनों में आपकी similarity हो. That we have already covered. Like these are the areas that you can see. Now, losses are different levels. हमारे ये हैं ज़्यादातर लॉसेस के आपका जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है माइनर से आपका 7% और वाटर कोर्सेज यही आपका 30% लॉस आपका कर देते हैं. ठीक है. सो देयरफॉर आपका जो बीच में जो लॉस है यानी आपका इरिगेशन सिस्टम है, हम एनर्जी में भी यही बात करते हैं कि देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ आपके जो चेन आपकी बनी है उसके अंदर एनर्जी लॉसेस बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं, विच इज़ अनअकाउंटेड फॉर. सिमिलरली वाटर लॉसेस बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, वी हैव टू मैनेज इट मोर प्रॉपरली. नाउ what are the major concerns and problems with reference to water strategy? Problems from management perspective. Now let's see over it. Overall water scarcity, low water availability during winter and at the beginning and in the summer with limited reservoir capacity. Physical and technical limitations of the system. Very true. Low efficiency in delivery and use. Inequitable water distribution. Inadequate operation and maintenance of the system. Excess seepage and wastage in the system that we have already seen. Insufficient cost recovery. O&M expenditures are more than recovery. And administrative and फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट्स. ये हैं हमारे मैनेजमेंट पर्सपेक्टिव से वाटर के इश्यूज. कि ठीक है कि जी आपकी टेक्निकल लिमिटेशंस आ जाती हैं, आपकी वाटर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ठीक हो रही है, आपके लॉसेस उसके अंदर हैं. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द इश्यूज विच वी आर कंसर्न्ड विद. अगर आप देखें विद रेफरेंस टू द फार्मर पर्सपेक्टिव, अब इसमें क्या आ जाता है आपका अनरिलायबल एंड इनइक्विटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इरिगेशन वाटर. ठीक है, अब जो अनरिलायबल है कि जी आप कोई हमारा ऐसा मैकेनिज्म नहीं बना हुआ है कि जी वाटर इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड टू फार्म ऑन द रेगुलर बेसिस. उसके बाद आपके क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस भी इतनी एरेटिक हो चुकी हैं दैट देयर इज नो प्रॉपर मैकेनिज्म ऑफ फोरकास्टिंग. एंड देन आपकी जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है वही माइट इज राइट यहाँ पे ज़्यादा चलती है. The person with more assets, who is much more stronger in the community, he gets the maximum water share. Then deterioration of canal system and frequent breaches due to weak bands. आपके जो bands भी बड़े weak हैं, उसके बाद आपका जो canal system है that is also deteriorating. अगर आप कंट्रीज में देखें वहाँ पे कनाल सिस्टम स्ट्रॉन्ग होते हैं, इरीगेशन सिस्टम बेहतर होता जा रहा होता है एज द टाइम इज पासिंग. बट विद रेफरेंस टू पाकिस्तान आई थिंक वी आर मूविंग इनटू अ रिवर्सल साइकिल. इट इज़ बिकमिंग वर्स. वाटर की थेफ्ट ज़्यादा होती जा रही है. इंक्रीज्ड केसेस ऑफ वाटर थेफ्ट एज आई ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड विद यू एंड फेलियर ऑफ मैनेजमेंट टू चेक देम. एंड इफ देयर आर वाटर थेफ्ट्स, उसके कोई प्रॉपर मैकेनिज्म नहीं है हाउ टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू सच इट. They say that the management is quite inefficient about it. Then water disputes अगर होती भी हैं और अगर आप उन disputes को ले भी जाएं, so उनके अंदर जो action of justice है that is very weak and very slow. It take months. अब अगर आपका distribution and dispute settlement system अगर आपका इतना weak है, why would people be bothered to go about it? They would prefer कि जी हम इनको खुद ही सेटल कर लेते हैं. So therefore that is quite important कि आपका जो water theft हो रहा है उसकी management properly हो, आपकी water की allocation ठीक हो, so that जो frustration आपके citizens या आपके farmers में या आपके users में या आपके consumers में जो आ रही है वो eliminate हो. Then increase political interference in the system management. Even I have seen कि इस तरह की जब मीटिंग्स हो रही होती हैं and when they are talking about, so that is also not a very healthy meeting. उसके अंदर भी आपके कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आ रहे होते हैं, आपके इश्यूज आ रहे होते हैं कि which province to gain what and आपकी वाटर की डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आपकी कैसे होनी है. And increasing cost of ground water extraction. जैसे जैसे आपका वो टाइम पास होता है, ग्राउंड वाटर इज गोइंग डीपर, आपका वाटर टेबल रिड्यूस होता जा रहा है, तो उसकी एक्सट्रैक्शन कॉस्ट भी क्या होती जा रही हैं आपकी इंक्रीज करती जा रही हैं. Now, what are the problems from society's perspective? पहले हमने मैनेजमेंट के पढ़े, उसके बाद then I'll just revert back, फिर हमने फार्मर्स का पढ़ा and let's see what are the society के perspective से क्या है. Overall, poor performance of government agency managed irrigation system. If you look at it, so people are not happy what the government has been doing. आपकी Indus Water Treaty हुई, उसके अंदर when I was in Sindh, when I talked to the people and he said that General Ayub has sold our sweet water. He has, उन्होंने हमारा मीठा पानी बेच दिया है. And that was one of the reasons when I talked about that. One, which we may not, which we haven't even registered. या आपके total community of farmers, आपके एक total profession of farmers, it has totally eliminated. बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो जाता है. अभी तो मैं civilizations की बात कर रहा था, आपके farmers ख़त्म हो जाते हैं, आप जो rice export कर रहे हैं, that is totally finished. And जो farmers थे वो सारे क्या बन गए, fishermen बन गए, fishing पे stress आ गया. Why? Because government hasn't, the policies of government. Upper stream में आपने अपना डैम बना दिया, so fresh water नीचे आए नहीं, and उसका negative impact क्या हुआ, आपके जो mangroves थे उन पे siltation ज़्यादा होने की वजह से आपकी 10-12 species तो वैसे ही fade out हो गई, मर गई. Now when we are making that policy, are we even considering those factors? The answer is no, because once the policy has been made, once the action has been taken, and once the negativities are coming, फिर हम register करते हैं, oof, something bad has happened. Now we have to do something, but then that is too late. So people are little bit they are unhappy and unsatisfied with the government's performance over the distribution of water. Then wastage of water and low water use efficiency. Very true. कि हमारे यहाँ पे water की wastage ज़्यादा है. We do not focus on the management of water. We talk about the efficiency of water in terms of कि जी आपके पास से deliver हो जाए. But we are not talking about how to manage it. So उसके अंदर wastage बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. उसके बाद the failure of government to finance recovery from farmers and high cost of management. एक तो government के पास capacity नहीं है to finance, उसके बाद farmers से recovery नहीं होती, and there is a very high cost of management. Financial mismanagement and poor accountability. ठीक है, because we do not have good financial managers who can actually look into the affairs, so therefore there is a very bad financial management, and there is no transparency, no accountability. वही तो हम बता रहे थे that if there is so much water theft और उसकी कोई cases की as such, there's delayed judgments and people get frustrated out of it. Then we talk about the political influence in the management of irrigation water delivery system. कि जी आपके जो वाटर के डिलीवरी सिस्टम है उसके अंदर आपकी क्या आ जाती है, पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस आ जाता है. एंड ओवर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ फ्यूचर वाटर रिसोर्सेज, स्पेशली ऑफ द ग्राउंड वाटर. वी ओवर एक्सप्लॉयटेड, हमें वो लिमिटेशंस पता नहीं, एंड इट इज़ जस्ट द सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट, जिसका ज़्यादा चांस लगता है वो जनाब वाटर टेबल को रिड्यूस करने में लगे हुए हैं. व्हाट आर द इरिगेशन इशूज़? Supply driven rather than demand led distribution of water without consideration of cropping pattern. Very valid point, that it's more of a supply driven rather than a demand led distribution of water resources without consideration of cropping pattern. Because we are more in terms of irrigation, what we have seen, it's more of a supply driven. और अगर आप demand से forecast भी कर रहे हो, it's not that much of accurate. Then there is inequity of irrigation water, both inter and intra provincial level and water course level. Inequity, very valid. Okay जी, we are not basing it in terms of demand, and we have created inequitable distribution of water at the provincial level. Then there is deferred operation and maintenance of centuries old irrigation system. Maintenance आपकी हो ही नहीं रही, आपके डैम्स के अंदर silt जो इकट्ठी होती जा रही है. We do not have sufficient resources, we do not have sufficient technology so that we can actually remove that silt. System losses high as 55% आपका system loss हो रहा है. हम किस किस्म का water management कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे आपका more than 50% आपकी water losses हो रहे हैं, system losses हो रहे हैं. Then slow and lackluster approaches for water course improvement and lining. It's very slow. ठीक है ना, आपकी irrigation की जो management है इतनी slow है that it takes months just to pass out few orders. ठीक है. Then lack of water conservation and application techniques at the farm level. farmers are not trained, और जिस तरीके की हम उनको techniques बताते हैं, that is also pretty वो जिसे कहते हैं cumbersome, and farmers really don't know about it. As I earlier discussed कि जो World Bank ने जब एक report अपनी assessment report की, country assessment report, उसके अंदर जो major उन्होंने कहा जी climate change is not a threat. उसके बाद आपके जो resources पाकिस्तान के अंदर बहुत हैं, but why you are talking about कि we have moved to the stress level, or we have moved to the secure water as water security के scarcity के issues आ रहे हैं. The reason is that Pakistani government and people doesn't know how to manage the resource. If they know, then equitable allocation of resources, there will be no scarcity. Which is very much true. That अगर आपके losses more than 50% हो रहे हैं, अगर आपके theft हो रहे हैं, अगर आपकी कुछ irrigation system totally undocumented है, so what kind of system are we expecting? What kind of policy is going to be formulated that can cure you from these economic ailments? Very difficult situation. And as citizens, we have to concentrate, or we have to be focused कि आपके actions कैसे होंगे, because if citizens are not going to raise their voice, if they do not give their inputs, then there are going to be issues in terms of your water management, which we are actually seeing for the past so many years. The government के पास funds नहीं हैं, and the people are not even willing to participate into the process of planning. Okay, now what are the technical options for improving the irrigation water productivity? As I said, these are the four. क्या हो सकती है? Number one, land leveling to apply water more uniformly. क्योंकि land level नहीं होता, that's why water uniform नहीं जाता. लेकिन अगर land leveling कर दे, तो that is one of the strategies or techniques by which you can have more productivity in terms of your irrigation system. Efficient sprinklers to apply water more uniformly. Then furrow and bed cultivation to save water. That is one of the techniques in cultivation. And then drip irrigation to conserve water. Drip irrigation, just not drips chalti hain वैसे ही. It's a drip irrigation. Now what are the technical के बाद? Now we talk about the managerial options for improving irrigation water productivity, the managerial part. आपकी जो irrigation की scheduling है, that need to be more वो जिसे कहते हैं formal. Then improving canal operations for timely deliveries. You have to improve your canal operations. Then applying water when most crucial to a crop yield. उसके बाद water conserving tillage and field operation methods. Then better maintenance of canal, water courses and equipment, and recycling the drainage water. अब आपके उसमें क्या आ जाते हैं? There are some institutional mechanisms. Institutional mechanisms, what are the things? Number one is you're establishing water user organizations for better management of resources, or better management of water, which is very important. कि अगर आप देखें in terms of other countries, I'll give you a personal example. Switzerland के अंदर they have these water management groups. ठीक है, उनकी associations बनी हुई हैं. हम सारा टाइम बात कर रहे थे इंटीग्रेटेड नेचुरल रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज. ठीक है, कम्युनिटी लेवल पे आप कर रहे थे. तो सिमिलरली इन्होंने वाटर ग्रुप्स बनाए हुए हैं व्हिच एक्चुअली मेंटेन द वाटर, व्हिच एक्चुअली हैव डिवाइडेड द वाटर, टाइमिंग रखी होती है, एंड इट्स अ वेरी फॉर्मल प्रोसीजर्स ओवर देयर. अगर ये वाटर एसोसिएशंस इस तरह पाकिस्तान के अंदर आए and community itself take the responsibility, सिर्फ इस तरह के ऊपर ही ना रहें, तो I think things will be in a better shape. क्योंकि communities know provinces तो ठीक है, maybe the secretary साहब या जो भी who is making the policy has never seen Punjab. ठीक है, civil service के अंदर ये भी होता है कि you can be moving all around, you don't know the situation. आप एक ministry से दूसरे ministry में लग जाते हैं, but you don't know the ground realities. बट द फार्मर्स देमसेल्व्स, द कम्युनिटी इटसेल्फ नो कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है, कितनी आपको डिमांड है, कितना आपको सप्लाई है, किस तरीके से आप कम्युनिटी में आपस में आप डिवाइड करते हैं. एंड दिस इज हाउ दिस वाटर ग्रुप्स आर सो इफेक्टिव एंड पावरफुल. वी हैव सीन इट इन बलोचिस्तान के जब शुरू के अंदर जो कारेज की जो वाटर मैनेजमेंट थी, जो अंडरग्राउंड वाटर मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम था, इट वाज बीइंग मैनेज्ड बाय पीपल देमसेल्व्स एंड इट हैज बीन वेरी इफेक्टिव सिस्टम. एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली एंड in terms of developing an institution at a grassroots level, that was pretty effective. So far, given in all this course, we have seen that the moment आप लोगों को आप पॉलिसी प्रोसेस से आप निकाल देते हैं एंड यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि यू विल बी मेकिंग मच मोर बेटर डिसीजंस फॉर पीपल, that is basically a chaos, or that is basically a collapse that we are heading to. Until and unless people are not involved into the policy making process, into the management of natural resources, your things are not going to work out. Similarly, वही हमने फॉरेस्ट के अंदर भी देखा, ठीक है, फॉरेस्ट्री पॉलिसी जब हम पढ़ रहे थे वहाँ पे भी हमने यही कहा कि जी इन्वॉल्व पीपल इनटू इट, जो उस एरिया के लोग हैं. और वहीं पे फॉरेस्ट्री के अंदर हमने कस्टमरी लॉज को ही पढ़ा था. सो वाटर मैनेजमेंट अगर आप नॉर्दर्न एरियाज में जाके देखें, या जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट की रिसाई कम है, पीपल आर मैनेजिंग इट ऑन देयर ओन. पीपल हैव फॉर्म्ड देयर ओन एसोसिएशंस, दे हैव डिवाइडेड द वाटर टाइम्स, दे हैव डिवाइडेड कि कितनी क्वांटिटी ऑफ वाटर कितने फार्मर, किस फार्मर को कितने टाइम पे चाहिए होता है. उन्होंने खुद ही वाटर चैनल्स डेवलप किए हुए हैं. सो इट्स नॉट सम काइंड ऑफ रॉकेट साइंस कि जब हम कहते हैं कि जो वाटर ग्रुप्स या आपकी वाटर यूजर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होनी चाहिए, सो दे माइट बी मोर इफेक्टिव. येस, दे आर इफेक्टिव एंड वी हैव proven examples where they have actually worked upon. So therefore, in a nutshell, if I just point out कि जी लोगों को आपको involve करना पड़ेगा in order to have a better water management strategy. No matter आप कितने ही अच्छे vision बना लें, वापडा कितना ही अच्छा काम कर लें, लेकिन अगर water losses हो रहे हैं, अगर management नहीं हो रही, so we need to involve people into it. We need to see कि जी how it can be improved. जब हम कहते हैं ना public private partnerships, so now there is a new concept that is evolving, public and community partnerships आ जाती हैं कि जी government alone can't do anything, the private sector alone can't do anything. So it's need to be a hybrid model where government supports, government का काम ठीक है, it is the provision also, लेकिन government का काम support भी है, that okay they provide you with the relevant infrastructure, they provide you with the finances, and people manage themselves. Government का अपना रोल है, so government के ऊपर भी आपका जो burden है वो कम हो जाता है. And create an incentive, which we talk about in economics, कि अगर आपने कोई भी, अगर आपने एक policy अगर successful बनानी है, you have to create an incentive. So always remember and pick out any policy in Pakistan and see कि have we created incentives in it. अगर आपने incentives create नहीं किए, so I doubt that there will be any public participation into it. ठीक है ना? Policy is a guideline, policy is your black and white document कि जी आपने किस तरीके से behave करना है, किस तरीके से आपकी चीज़ें चलेंगी, लेकिन उसके अंदर people participation, community involvement is very important for whom the policy has been made, because remember it's a social good, it's not a private good. You are not just benefiting one group of people, और अगर वो है तो then it's a biased policy. So as policy के अंदर आपका जहाँ पे involvement होनी चाहिए, it needs to be a hybrid policy coming from the government, involving the private sector, involving the community, and secondly कि जी आपकी ये जो पॉलिसी है, it should create an incentive. Agriculture policy requires a really good overhauling because it requires incentives so that people can come back to the sector. Energy policy में you have made a lot of promises, but it requires incentives that okay, why people would be going for alternative energy, why people would be investing so much money in one of the incentives जहाँ पे उनको उस तरीके का return मिलना ही नहीं. ठीक है? So we need to create incentives in the policy. If there are incentives in the policy, people will follow it. People will take it as a guiding document. लेकिन अगर उसमें incentive नहीं है, then remember कि आपके सिर्फ journals में publications होंगी only on the critique of that policy, only on the failure of that policy. People are not going to appreciate that policy. And also remember that we have invested a huge amount of time in developing policies. आपकी जो forest policy 8 साल बाद बनी, 8 years. We still talk about water policy. आपकी treaties हो रही हैं, but where is your water policy? We are talking about Vision 2025, but you need a policy, you need a guiding document कि how conflict among the provinces need to be mitigated. ठीक है? Because that is going to be long lasting and it's not happening the first time. Countries fought over natural resources, states fought about natural resources, provinces fight about natural resources, but your policy needs to be a guiding document that how to minimize that conflict, create an incentive so that people feel that the policy has been made for them, people feel that there is something for them in the policy. Then fostering rural infrastructure for private sector dissemination of efficient technologies. अब आपके पास प्रॉब्लम ये होता है गवर्नमेंट हैज़ टू प्रोवाइड द हार्डवेयर, इंस्टीट्यूशनल जब सपोर्ट आपको देनी होती है. सो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के पास क्या इंसेंटिव है कि वो रोड बनाएगा या वो कनाल्स बनाएगा? यू हैव टू क्रिएट दैट इंसेंटिव, यू हैव टू गिव देम अ फोरम वेयर दे फील कि जी आपकी ये जो एफिशिएंट टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं ये किस तरीके से डिसेमिनेट कर सकते हैं एंड हाउ इट कैन हेल्प इन टर्म्स ऑफ सॉल्विंग द करंट क्राइसिस. सो जब तक उनको कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता है नहीं, जब तक आप उनके लिए गवर्नमेंट वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए कोई ऐसा फोरम ही नहीं क्रिएट करती वेयर दे कैन actually disseminate information about the new technologies and how the problems can be solved, that is not going to be working out. And even the private sector, और अगर आप देखो rural areas का आपस में बहुत ज़्यादा disconnect है. They don't know what are the problems. So if we don't know what are the real problems, how we are going to come up with the solutions? Policies या ये जो solutions हैं, they are not being made by sitting in some 5-star hotel and having a mineral water bottle in your hand and you are talking about water crisis and you have never been into that village who are actually drinking brackish water and who are suffering from some bad diseases, whose children are dying because of that dirty water. We can't develop that policy. You have to go to the grassroots. You have to identify the right problem to get the right solution. Then better training and extension services. Training of your people is very important. अगर आपकी mismanagement है तो वहाँ पे एक major source ये भी है कि that you do not have a trained human resource. Human resources need to be managed in such a way that they become effective and efficient in terms of delivering the public services. You enter into a WAPDA office and you feel comfortable. You don't feel that, okay, I have to pay some amount of bribery to an official so that my things can run smooth. You don't do it in the public offices. So such kind of hardcore overhauling and training of the employees is necessary. Training of the staff is necessary so that they know कि किस किस्म की नई technologies आ रही हैं and how they have to be catered and किस तरीके से हम उनको apply कर सकते हैं for effective and better management of irrigation systems in Pakistan. Then options for improving irrigation water productivity agronomic क्या है? Select the crop varieties with higher yields per cubic meter of transpired water. Then intercropping आप करें to maximize use of soil moisture. Better matching crops to climate conditions and the quality of water available. Then crop rotations आपको करनी है to maximize output under condition of soil and water salinity. Then selecting drought tolerant crops where water is scarce and unreliable. Breeding water efficient crop varieties. Well, again, these are not some things that we don't know. But application क्यों नहीं हो रही? The same answer that I always give, that okay, maybe people lack incentive. Why they should be doing these things? उसके बाद options for future development. Surface water में additional storage to replace lost capacity of existing dams that we need. That is about 6 MAF. Additional storage to add new supplies to Indus Basin canal diversions, 14 MAF की ज़रूरत है. Saving of conveyance losses in canals and water courses, about 20 MAF. Development of spate irrigation system, and then small dams to earthen ponds to store runoff in mountain of Barani areas of KPK, Punjab and Balochistan. Groundwater में हमें क्या करनी है? Sustained pumping up to 55 million acre feet. Then energy and water efficient pumping systems, amending and managing poor quality groundwater and skimming wells for southern Pakistan. Irrigation strategies हमारी कौन सी हैं? Crash program for cleaning of water courses, miners and distributaries. I remember in Punjab government when the Chief Minister was Chief Minister Wattu, he used to have a holiday, and we were in the colleges and there used to be bhal safai hua karti thi, and all the students were involved to clean that thing. So that kind of crash program was good, and people would be involved in those kind of safai programs, and community was involved, and I must say it was an interesting activity. Remodeling of moghas for uniform distribution of water, crop independent abhiyana on gross farm area, minimize element of rent seeking by irrigation personnel. That is also one of the critical problems. And investment in surface supplies to improve remaining water courses, management put on hold for what of funding. Consensus on new dam sites is imperative to ensure water supplies. We really need to go for bigger mega projects rather than going for smaller dams. Increase cropping intensity within riverine area by better water management at the system level. Now these are the irrigation strategies that if we apply, that can really bring miracles. Now point to ponder and to conclude this lecture is that we really need to think hard. We really need to come out of this policy formulation, and now it's time for the policy implementation. We need to think that if water is really, agar hum water scarcity wale level pe chale gaye, how economy is going to work. Your lifeline is going to be finished. And फिर हुआ करेगा कि हमने water इतना import किया. Right now we are talking about fuel, right now we are talking about energy, right now ठीक है हम crops पे तो आ गए हैं. जब हम sustainability का इतना ज़्यादा हम बोलते हैं, are we water sustainable? No, we are not. Water stress हम हो चुके हैं. We are a water stress nation. In the graph you did saw, we are reaching that orange, we have reached that yellow color. We are very much water stress. But water management agar hum kare, so maybe we can get out of that trap. So it's a really hard thinking is required, really some action oriented work is required so that we can get out of this water stress situation. Otherwise it's going to be a really bad thing. Importing water, that is something like a dream. And then it is just a fairy tale when we would saying that Pakistan agriculture backbone, all that stuff, कि जी हम हाइडल पावर बनाया करते थे, फिर हम लैब के अंदर पानी के सैंपल को रखेंगे so that we can show the future generations कि पानी ऐसा होता था, raindrops ऐसे हुआ करते थे. So it's time to think, and it's time to do the action. So therefore water security, it's going to be an emerging threat for Pakistan, and we really need to do something about it. Thank you very much, and see you in the next lecture.